I'm Killian, and I'm a developmental editor and have over 15 titles published.
And I'm CJ, author, artist, and I eat, sleep, and breathe storytelling. We're critique partners, and we're here to explore and discover the art of story.
From beginning to end.
From inspiration
to hitting publish. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. As you can see, some things are different here. And yes, it has been a long time, but I am back and I brought a friend. This is my good friend, CJ Piperata, and we are critique partners. Say hello, CJ.
Hello, CJ.
Yay! Yeah, and we are back, or I am back, she's coming in, and we are going to discuss our experiences and bring you content in order to sharpen your writing skills.
Yes, we are. And the series that we're going to start with is going to be Improve Your Writing 101, getting out of the bubble.
Getting out of that bubble.
Let's talk about the bubble.
Okay, so what is this bubble to you, CJ?
The bubble is when you're a writer and you're all by yourself, hunched over your little computer, and you might be stuck. Maybe you just wrote something awesome and you want to share it with somebody, but there's nobody to share it with. Right. And we all know that nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares about your work. It sucks.
Even if it's great, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just it's a type of craft where like you really are kind of in solitude as you're doing it. And part of the ways to get out of that bubble is with critique partners, beta readers, editors, bringing other people into your writing. But the first level that we're going to talk about is critique partners. So what is a critique partner?
This is a really good question because there are going to be different levels of critique partners, and usually that can be, you can actually start with a group and grow together and learn together. And because you guys are learning professionally, right, in order to make this into your career, and hopefully you guys are doing the research and you're learning from other sources, you're going to be growing and being able to critique each other's work in a professional manner.
Yeah, it's like the first level of feedback, I think, that you'll be getting. It's before any of the editors. It's peer-to-peer.
It's the first. It can be the first level of feedback if you are brand new and you are still going to hire a developmental editor.
Mm-hmm.
But as you grow with each other, sometimes you're gonna get to a point where, like, for instance, I have 15 titles already published in my genre, so I don't really need a developmental editor anymore at this stage. I am a developmental editor at this stage. If I were to completely switch genres, though...
What am I, chopped liver? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, but you're my critique partner. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if I were to completely switch genres to something completely different that you don't feel comfortable critiquing, then I am going to hire a developmental editor in that genre.
Now, what about a critique partner? And what about finding critique partners in that genre? Because then you'd be a newbie to that genre, right?
Right. So if you're a newbie to that genre, most likely you're going to find another newbie who also needs a critique partner.
Yeah. So the benefits of the critique partner, they're going to bring you, bring you objective feedback, hopefully genre feedback. They're going to kind of know the pacing of your genre, the tropes of your genre.
Tropes, themes, story structure, that's all very important.
Okay, yeah. So as a brand new writer, I joined the critique group with you and some other members of our critique group, and everybody was at a higher level than I was, or a more experienced level than I was, and I learned how to write as a new writer because you guys let me in, right? So it can be priceless when you're new, I think, definitely. Would you agree with that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
No matter if you're brand spanking new to writing, but you have a lot of experience reading, then at least something that you can offer the group is your reading experience. Yeah. And at that stage, you're going to be sounding more like a beta reader because you don't have the level and skill set yet to be able to point out some plot structures like, hey, we're in chapter 10 and there's been no meet cute. Is this a romance? I thought you said it was, because it's not sounding like one, you know? And that might be a very easy example, but there are some story structure level stuff that a brand new person coming into critiquing may not be able to point out.
Okay, and let me just stop you right there really fast, because you just compared critique partner and beta reader, and that's going to be something that you hear a lot as a new author, and these words are thrown around. I remember you guys used to throw these words around, and I'm like, what the hell is a beta reader? So what is a beta reader? What is a critique partner? What's the difference between beta and critique partner?
So a beta reader, that's a very good question. A beta reader is really meant to only give you feedback as the experience of a reader of that genre. And I'm really emphasizing the word genre here, because sometimes a new writer is desperate to find people to read their manuscript, and they're handing it out to just anyone. And the people that are reading it, if they're not familiar with the themes and the tropes of your genre, then they might be giving you feedback saying, I really hate this character, they're annoying.
Okay,
let's take a look at your character. If they are 16 or 17 years old and you're writing a YA, and the person who is beta reading for you only likes to read adult historical fiction or even adult dark fantasy, then that is the wrong person, because of course your 17-year-old teenage character is going to be annoying to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But a critique
partner is okay. So a beta reader, and we're going to talk about beta readers in the next episode.
That's right.
That we upload. But a beta reader is going to be a reader, not a writer. It could be a writer, but the function of a beta reader is to read, not to critique you. And do not look for the same level of feedback that you're going to get from someone practicing the craft as from a beta reader. So that's an important difference, because we throw these words out and sometimes we're new and we don't know what they mean.
Yeah, a beta reader should be telling you if, I kind of put the book down.
All right. But it's important to mention that as a brand new writer, you can bring to the table. So you might have more experienced writers looking for a group that, maybe you want to join. You might not have the experience that they're bringing to the table, but if you're a reader, you can bring that. So just throwing that out there so that you guys know that you do have value as a brand new writer when you're joining a group. And the difference between a beta reader and a critique partner, right?
Yeah.
All right, so speaking about our group and how we met each other on that fateful day when we finally hooked up. Just kidding. Where do you find critique partners? How do we find each other?
So we found each other on a Facebook group, so you kind of need to look through the Facebook groups. There are so many writing groups, and read their rules, read their descriptions. Some of them are ARC readers wanted, and that might not be a group to find a critique partner in, but that's more of a marketing promotional group. So look for the ones that say beta readers.
Or critique partners.
Or critique partners.
Yeah, critique partners.
I don't remember the group that we found each other in.
There's a bunch of different groups on social media, and I'm a member of them. I know you're a member of a lot of them, and a lot of times there'll be this group, and the group will literally have thousands to tens of thousands of people, and you'll see people kind of post their stuff to all of these people. And then I literally want to fall off my chair and die 700,000 times, because then you have everybody and their grandmother is coming out of the woodwork, and they're half the people are ripping this person apart. Yeah. The other half of the people, they don't even know what they're talking about.
Right.
So when you say to go to these groups, we want to be really clear that she does not mean to find these groups and then just post your stuff. This is absolute madness, and people do it all the time. But what we did was one of the people in our group, they posted a little ad hey, I'm looking to put together a fantasy, he put a genre fantasy critique group, and we all just answered in the comments, and he DM'd us, and we still to this day have our little Facebook group chat, and I think that it's a great way to do it like that. And it's important that you're not just going to these groups and posting publicly. You can. Good luck with that. But that personal connection is important. And then we all did a Zoom to kind of test the waters. And how did you test it out? to find our
yeah,
critique
and
group
remember that
be,
you're going to care more about what you're reading and critiquing when you know the person.
Yes.
You're going to care about them more. So you're going to care more that they're going to do better with their work. When it's just like a rando on the internet and you're posting yourself out there, they don't know you. They don't care about you. And honestly, some people might just want to like give you bad advice on purpose.
Yo, people are weird. People are weird. Let me tell you, I went I forgot what it was. I was like, let me just expand my horizon, see what else is out there. Still in our critique group, but I did. There's some websites out there, right? And like, you join this website, it's like whatever, a couple of bucks. It's not expensive, but you like post your work and you kind of say the genre and you're looking for critique partners, and then people that you don't know, totally nameless, faceless, behind the screen. You never see a face, you never hear a voice. They will
pretty cold.
Yeah. So and I did, and I ended up having a critique exchange with this person, and let me tell you, the needs that I thought I had as somebody seeking a critique group were so much more than just having words on a screen of feedback in a document. We did one chapter of an exchange. First of all, like, you can't get a feel for a person if you're not speaking to them, meeting them. It didn't work. It was a one-time exchange. I did like 2 exchanges, and I paid money for it. It was wasted money, and I learned a good lesson. I learned that the personal relationships are so important to do when we're getting feedback and when we're learning this craft of writing. Okay. All right. So what else? So now let's say, okay, we went on the group. We posted a little ad. We're looking for a group. We got our feedback. We said, hey guys, let's hop on a Zoom. Let's meet each other. Now we have our group. Now we decide a format for our group. Let's say we're all going to do a chapter a week. I think that's what we first did, right? And by the way,
first did.
Yeah, and it's going to be different for everyone.
And we had a rotation, and I would really suggest keeping your critique group small.
Yeah.
3 to 4.
How many people? 3 to 4 people?
3 to 4 people.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, because if you do 5, I would say that's the max. Okay. 6 people, that's more than a month.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what we
when you say more than a month, that means if you're going on a rotation.
So let me explain. So each one of us will say, okay, let's meet on Wednesday to talk about the manuscript we all just critiqued this past.
Okay. So right? so one person uploads their chapter, and then all the critique partners will go in, and we used Google Docs where you can leave comments on the side, highlight, leave a comment.
If you don't like Google Docs, just send Word Docs. Some people don't like Google Docs. That's fine. Yeah,
and then however your group decides to format that aspect of it.
Right.
And a meeting, and having that meeting once a week where you could kind of discuss face-to-face the critique, ask questions. I try not to talk so much during my, when people are kind of like going through their feedback, or the way we did it actually, we would leave the feedback in line in the document. Yeah. And then discuss it so the author can ask questions about the feedback. But when I was receiving, I would try not to talk. Go ahead.
You're unlike not what I'm doing now. Understand. Sometimes you're not going to understand.
Shh. No, I'm only playing.
All right. Sometimes you're not going to understand where somebody's coming from. Things get convoluted, especially if you have too many cooks in the kitchen. Yeah. And it's better to just ask that question in person, and then people can say, oh yeah, I agree with that. And then now you have a pot of brewing ideas, and you grow. Your story grows, your characters become more in depth with all of these ideas, and you become more enriched in your knowledge. Yeah. And the next week, you do it again with the next person.
Yeah. And I love that you said that, because the muscle, developing the muscle of learning what critiques to accept and what critiques to kind of set aside, that if you're brand new, when I was brand new, I legit, the chair could have critiqued me. Like, that's how terrible I was. But as you get better, it is a growing muscle, a growing discernment to learn what critiques to take and what not.
It's hard in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's really hard being some of the critiques, try not to take them personally. But in the beginning, That's what you got. You take it personally. It's like, oh, I wrote this and they hate it. But it's not that they hate it. They're trying to help you improve.
Yeah.
But there are some critiques, like, line editing. Some people cannot resist the urge to line edit their first draft. And that can become overwhelming if you have 150 messages over commas or words.
So that's important. Let's explain that. So when we are critiquing, and this is how to be a good critique partner and how to also learn to discern, critiques that you can use. So when you're at this early stage of getting critiqued, right? Your first level of feedback, what are we looking for? We're looking for chapter level or even story level, bigger picture stuff. We're not looking for commas. We're not looking for spell check.
That's right.
Right, Killian?
It's a colossal waste of time.
Yeah.
Everybody's time.
Yeah. We're looking for form and structure here. It's kind of like when you're doing a painting. If I'm painting a portrait, in my first stage, while I'm getting the sketch and the composition down, I can't worry about an eyelash. Right? That's my metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, it's a colossal waste of time if you are spending all your time pointing out someone's grammar.
Yeah.
When that entire chapter can go.
And that's to be a good critique partner, be aware of that. Okay? So going in, I didn't know that, right? I saw you yelling at the other critique partner, so I'm like, I'm not going to mess with them. But I learned it. You know what I mean? I was pretty
strict. I was like, I'm not looking at that. Line editing, no.
Yeah.
And you saw growing, with the group, and how things can just go. Entire paragraph, delete, gone.
And we're going to talk about those. We have a couple more episodes coming up. We're going to talk about the difference between line editors, copy editors,
that's right,
developmental editors, critique partners. Critique partners, this is the first most foundational layer of feedback that I think is so important for new writers to have before you start spending out all that money.
That's right.
And there are people that they're just going to take your money, they're going to take it. Okay, so do we need to have our entire book critiqued? Or is it enough, say, if we get a few chapters critiqued to kind of see our patterns of mistakes?
I think that this is a good question too. Mm-hmm. So I think it depends on the level that you're in, the stage that you are at when writing your book. If you are dipping your toes and you're trying to find your groove, then having that first few pages or even chapters critiqued and then going back into your writing cave and working on that, that is really smart. Because instead of, what I see is a lot of writers are just eager to publish their book right now. Their first book, they want it out. They want it out right now because they want to feel accomplished.
Yeah.
And I understand that feeling. But my advice is to slow down and hone your craft. Mm-hmm. Get some critique partners if you want. Yeah. Get them looking at your first chapter and study.
Yeah. And you can learn a lot. The principles. So like when I was so brand new, and if you look at those first versions of my manuscript, if I knew how bad I was, I might have given up. But you guys are so encouraging and amazing.
And it's important to be encouraging.
But you taught me the principles.
Start somewhere.
Yeah, you taught me the principles. You really did. The first time I saw a giant highlighted chunk of my document, and one of our other partners was like, "Hey, why is this whole thing a big fat info dump?" And I'm like, "What's an info dump?" But I learned the principles of good writing, say from those first couple chapters, which I kept rewriting. And I learned, and I was able to so I didn't have to have my whole book critiqued. I never got my whole book critiqued. And now it's coming out on May 29th, right?
I know, it's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, but I learned those principles by having, honestly, my first few chapters critiqued, and I was able to learn. And that's for, brand new writers,
and
1,000%.
Writing is rewriting and rewriting and rewriting. That is what it is,
All right, so I think we had all the main points of our critique partners. The series, Improve Your Writing 101, Get Out of the Bubble. Our next episode, we're going to talk about beta readers. We're going to talk about alpha readers, the difference between editors, developmental editors. We have a bunch of episodes coming up. So we want you to tune in, right? Give us a like and a subscribe.
Links down below.
Links down below. All right. We will check
All right,
you guys
guys.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.